everyone, this is Rosa Kelly. Welcome back to my channel. I am here today with a new tutorial for JS Hobbies and Crafts, and as you can see, I'm going to be using this beautiful Stamperia collection. I just love it, and I did do a whole video, so if you want to look at the paper more in detail, I'll make sure to link that on the description box below. So for this tutorial, I ask you guys to either choose if you would like me to do a mini album or a folio, and I was very surprised to find kind of both of those options pretty equal. So I decided to do a combination of the two. So I don't know, let's get started. We'll see what we come up with. I already went ahead and cut my chipboard. I wanted this to be a large album but not too thick, so the chipboard is going to be 10 by 8, so you're gonna need 2 of those, and then one of 10 by 2.5. So let's go ahead and use 2 pieces of cardstock and join them together. So I'm just gonna use my score tape here, and then I'm going to add my chipboard here. So I will add first the spine, and I'm just gonna be using score tape for all of these. Okay, so now I'm just gonna remove the tape, and this is going to be a little bit of a large album, so it's probably gonna be a little bit difficult to keep it all, you know, in frame, but I'm gonna try my best. So I'm just gonna place the spine on the center, just like that, and then I'm going to add my tape to the 2 large pieces. Okay, so now I removed the tape from this side, and we're just gonna place it next to the spine. You want to leave about 1/8 of an inch in between your chipboard pieces, and then we're just gonna press this down. And now I'm gonna do the same to this. Okay, so now we're just gonna bend the sides. I like to always first just bend my cardstock before I glue it. So I'm just gonna go around the 4 sides, just like that. Okay, so now I'm just gonna trim a little bit of the extra cardstock that I have here. I probably only need about 1 inch on the side, and if we trim this, it's just a little bit easier to manage, because what I want to do is just cut this little corner. Okay, just like that, and I will do the same on the other side. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is just add my tape on all the 4 flaps, and since I'm only using the 1/4 inch tape, I'm going to add 2 rows, just like that, and then I'm just gonna take off the tape, 1 and 2, and now we're just gonna bend. And since we already folded this ahead, we know exactly where this is going to land. So now I'm just gonna press this down, and let me do the other side. So now I'm just gonna press this down as well, just like so. And then now I'm ready to do the 2 short sides. Now before we do this one, let me do it like here, 2 rows again. So I'm gonna fold this, and I'm going to make sure to tack these little corners down so we don't have that pointy edge. And I'm just doing this with my nails. You can use your bone folder. And now I'm just gonna take off this tape over here and just finish wrapping this around. Okay, and then I do the same on this side. And finally, I'm just gonna mark here on these bending sides just to give it a little crease. So now I'm gonna cut a piece of paper at 4 inches by 9 3/4. So let me save this for later. Okay, and we are going to glue this right on top of the spine. So then I'm going to find the bending points, and you will fill the little crease that we just did here with your bone folder. I don't know what do you call this, scoring tool. And I'm just going to find them top and bottom, and I'm just gonna score this little cardstock gently. You don't want to make a hole on that, so I'm gonna do this one and this one here as well. And this is just again to help the page bend. Okay, so now we are done with the binding, and we can go ahead and start working on the signatures. Like I said, I want this to be a combination of a mini album and a folio, so I won't do the actual signatures. I will do a folio type thing for each one of the sides. So let's start working with the left side. So if you guys are anything like me, you like very interactive pages. So I plan on making this folio album very interactive, but yet simple to do. And also I want to concentrate on the pictures that we're gonna put in the album. I want at least most of the photo mats to be accommodating to 4x6, so we can just print and glue. We don't have to crop or anything like that. And of course, maybe areas if you want to put a larger picture or collage a few things, right? The base of the inside of the folio is going to be 7 3/4 by 9 3/4. So I'm gonna cut one. This is going to be the size, so I'm just gonna put this one on the bottom. That's gonna be my base here. So we're gonna build from the bottom up. I'm going to cut another piece of paper at 10 3/4 by 7 3/4. Okay, and now I'm gonna score at the 10 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch and at 1 inch. Okay, so that is giving us a 1/2 inch gusset when we add it into our base. Okay, so let me just use my little folder here. Okay, so now this is going to be 1. We are going to need a second one that, and I just got it here already. So this one is going to measure 7 3/4 but by 10 1/4. And again, we're gonna score at 1/2 inch and we're gonna score at 1. Okay, so now this one it's going to be a little bit shorter than the first. So I'm going to use my score tape. Now I'm using the 3/8 of an inch, and I'm going to place these on the first flap, okay, the one that's closest to the edge. Okay, and let me grab, I don't have my scissors around. So I'm going to do the same on this one here. So see how we bend it kind of like a U. So we're gonna put the score tape on the outside flap. Okay, just like this. And now I'm going to grab my base, put this down. I'm gonna move this to the side. And we are going to place the longer one. One is slightly longer than the other one. So the longer one we're gonna place on the top. So I'm just gonna remove a little bit of my tape here. And I'm just gonna fold it flat for now and align it on the top. Okay, here we go. Just like this, and take off that tape. And now we're gonna open this up, and we are going to do the same with the smaller one on the bottom. So I'm going to peel off just a bit of the tape and align it to the bottom. Okay, just like that. Oops. And we're gonna take off this tape, hopefully without breaking it too much. Okay, there we go. So now we can stand up the second little cassette that we did, like so. Okay, and so now I'm going to cut 2 more pieces of paper. Make sure this is perpendicular, and this is gonna fall, like look flat for now, like it's gonna bend to the middle because it's empty, but we are gonna build inside here as well. Okay, but before we do that, I'm going to grab 2 pieces of cardstock, and I'm gonna cut them at the same time. So we're cutting this at 9 1/4 by 9 1/4. Okay, so we're just gonna keep a simple square, and we are going to score both of these on one of the sides. So let me score this at 1/2 inch and at 1 1/2. And then I'll do the next one, 1/2 inch and 1 1/2. All right, so we're gonna fold along the score lines again for these 2 sides. Over here, fold along the score line and do the second one too. And we are going to now put this in our base. Okay, so I'm going to place this on the back of my base. So if your base opens up like this, like what we did, you want to put this, and I'm going to basically put this under like this, and I'm just gonna add my glue or my tape on this side here. So I think it's easier if I just use the glue. So we're basically putting this on the back of our base. Let's see if this is coming out. There we go. Okay, and hopefully it's not too hard to see with the white on white. But here we go. So I'm just gonna fold this and place it on the back. And the reason why I'm doing it on the back, I kind of want this to wrap around this folio because on the inside I'm going to be adding different flaps, and I want to keep the room for that. Okay, so let's make sure this is nice and dry. I'm just gonna put it back on like this and open it to make sure, because I'm not pressing it really good. Okay, so maybe this is an easier way to add it. Okay, we're gonna open it and we're gonna place it on the back. Okay, so that's a little bit easier. So now I'm gonna keep this open, and I'm gonna do this one on the back here. Okay, so let's see if you can see it fine. Okay, here we go. So we're just gonna place this on the back of the base, and I'm going to add the glue on the top here. Okay, and now I'm gonna place it behind it, and you want to make sure it's centered up and down. Okay, kind of matching the other side. And it's also easier to use the glue because we have a little time to move it and place it where we need it. It's a little fuzzy in here, that's kind of stuck in there. Okay, all right, so now we're gonna close this back up, and these two are kind of coming on top. Do you see that? So now we have this big square basically with 2 layers, and that is the base for the left side. Okay, and now we're going to build on top of this, but like I said, we're gonna start from the bottom up. So I'm gonna open everything, and now we're gonna grab more cardstock paper here. I'm gonna do 2 pieces, and let's trim these ones at 7.5 by 8. So I'm just gonna put this right here, and I'm going to score 1/2 inch along the 7.5 inch side. So right here, I'm gonna do the same on the second piece, and then we are going to fold and add score tape. All right, so now I'm going to place this on the folio here. So I'm gonna place one on the left center there. Okay, just make sure you stay inside the frame here. You don't want to go onto that side. And then I'm gonna open that one up, and I'm gonna place the next one on the other side. So let's see, make sure that it's kind of lining up to this one on this side, and here we go. I'm just gonna take off this tape, and then I'm gonna open that up. So now I'm gonna use one of these scrap pieces, and I'm going to cut this at 8.5, and this measures 4 3/4 almost. But I'm creating a pocket to go on the back, so I'm going to score this 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So I'm going to do 1/2 inch, then I'm gonna fold this and do 1/2 inch, and fold this again and do 1/2 inch. And then I'm just going to cut the corners like this, and I'm gonna fold them on the score lines, and I'm gonna add my pocket. Let's see, do 1, 2, and 3 sides. Make sure we press this really good. Okay, and then I'm just gonna add my glue. You could do tape if you like. Okay, 2, and the bottom as well. Alrighty, and now I'm just gonna place these on the back here. So make sure that you are not touching after the score line, where where you're bending this in. And I'm just gonna place it right in the center, just like that. So now we're gonna close this, and we're gonna close this down like so, and we are going to work now on one of these flaps. So one of the flaps for the ones on top is just going to act as a closure, so we're not going to do anything here because we are going to add magnets. But the other one here, we're going to build up a little bit more. So I cut a piece of 9.5 by 7.5, and I'm going to score these. Let me see if I can scooch these over. I'm gonna place this on my scoreboard, and I'm gonna score 1/2 inch along the 9.5 inch side, just like that. And then I'm going to fold along the score lines again and add my tape. So now I'm gonna add this piece here on the top of this flap on the right side. Okay, so I'm just gonna line this up on the top, and make sure you're not touching your score line. So if you place it on the center, you should be good to go. And then I'm just gonna remove the tape here. Okay, now on this area I want to build a waterfall, so I think right now we're good to just add our paper on the background. And so let me show you here where we're gonna place our magnet. So I'm gonna be using this large magnetic disc. I will have the supply list of everything we're using on the description box below. You can also find these magnets at the website JS Hobbies and Crafts. And I love this because they come with the plus and the minus signs, so they're kind of perfect. So we're just gonna take that out and let's see if I can remove this easy. Or you can just, you know, open from the back. There you go. So I need one minus and one of the pluses. Okay, so the first one we're going to place, of course, on your first outer flap. So I'm just going to do this right here. And you want to put your magnet a little bit away from the edge of the paper. Just want to give it enough room for you to glue your paper on top. And then I'm gonna place the minus side right there, and I'm going to peel off the sticker here. These are very easy to use. And now I'm just gonna make sure this is perpendicular to the base, as you see now. So I'm just gonna hold it up with my fingers, and then I'm going to close this. Okay, so make sure these are lined up and perpendicular, like I said, and then we can press. Okay, so now your magnets should be in place here. Let's press hard. Okay, they're really strong magnets, so for now the magnets want to stay together, but once we add our design paper, then they'll be happy to separate. Oops. Okay, here we go. The idea is just to have it where you want it. Now, if also it helps to put the tape, not to glue it because they already come with the sticky, but at least so they don't, you know, stuck to each other too much while we're still not covering it with the paper. All right, so now I'm gonna open that up and I'm gonna place the second magnet on this flap here. So I'm going to do the same thing. Let me get one of the minus and one of the pluses. And so this time I'm going to place it right around here. So let me open that up and I'll place one just like here. Let me peel off the sticky here. Okay, so I'm gonna put one right there. All right, and then I'm gonna place the next one right on top. See how strong they are? Okay, so now I'm just gonna press down there, and hopefully they don't want to stick together. Okay, they're good. Right, I'm just gonna put the tape just to separate them. All right, so now we have the magnet there, and then we close that up. We have the magnet there. So we have one half of our project done. We're at a good point to put the design paper on top, and then after that we're gonna continue to build in these flaps here. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and start adding my beautiful design paper. Look how gorgeous this looks. So this process I'm just gonna speed through and then I'll be right back. So I cut a few photo mats that measure 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. That these will be the places where we're gonna put our 4 by 6s, and then we'll have a little bit of the cardstock border around the pictures. So I did this so we can save a little bit of paper, and also we have the area specifically where we know we are going to be putting our pictures. So you're gonna see me using a lot of these throughout the folio as well. Okay, so now we're gonna work on these two flaps. So this one I'm gonna leave pretty plain, and I'm just gonna do the same thing I did here. But for this one that goes on top, I'm going to build a little waterfall there. So like I said, I want my my purpose is to just bring my 4 by 6 pictures and put them. So I'm going to build my waterfall large enough. So I'm going to start with, I'm gonna cut 2 at a time. So we're gonna cut these at 6 3/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, and so I have 2, actually I have 4 because I have double paper. Okay, so along the 6 3/4 inch side, I'm gonna score 1/2 inch, just like that, and I'm gonna do the same for all of these. Okay, so I'm going to just use my glue now and start adding my waterfall here. So I'm gonna start on the bottom. You can either do it on the center or you can do it on one of the sides. So I think I'm going to just do the center. Actually, I'm gonna do the side because I don't think I'm picking the right center. Okay, so I'm just gonna go on the side and I'm gonna glue this up here, and then I'm going to continue doing the same thing with the next one. Okay, so I'm just gonna go right on top of that one, just like that, and then I got the next one. Okay, and then we have one more just add a little bit of the glue. And then we just place this one right on top. And then I'm gonna grab one of my scrap pieces and just fill that little white area. Okay, so I covered that, and then I also covered the bottom part of the waterfall, you know, so it doesn't look white in there. And then I'm going to add this right here. And then I'm gonna add this little piece of my scraps too down here, but I'm going to make this into a little flat pocket, so I'm just gonna add glue on 3 sides, just like so. And I'm just gonna place this down here. So then we have somewhere to put little tags and things like that. This collection has a lot of beautiful tags, so I always like to create places for that. Okay, so we are moving on. We have a pocket here, we have a flat pocket there, little waterfall. On this page here, I'm just gonna keep that flat. However, let me close this for now. On the bottom, this one, I want to build a little more, so see if I can do that to be in frame. There you go, perfect. So I'm going to use some more white cardstock. Okay, so then I'm going to cut 6 pieces of 8.5 by 5.5. So I have them all here. And I'm gonna place it on my scoreboard along the 5.5 inch side, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch, and I'm going to do the same to all of these ones. Then I'm going to round the corners to the side opposite to where we just score. And now all I'm gonna do is fold along the score line and add my tape. Okay, just like that. And of course I'm gonna do the same to all of them, but let me show you what we're gonna do. We are going to place one on the left of this bottom flap, and I'm just gonna place this on the center. Okay, just make sure it's center up and down, and I'm just gonna hold this down and take off the tape here. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab the next one, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I'm gonna remove a little bit of the tape and place this kind of matching the same elevation here, and I'm just gonna place that down and pull this out. And we are going to continue building this up, so we are going to have 3 on each side. This next one I'm just gonna place right on top of that one, and then I'll place this one right on top of this one, and so on. Okay, so now here we have this page here, lots of room for pictures. I'm going to go ahead and cover these, these pages up, as I've been doing this using the craft color cardstock to complement. So I hope that you guys are enjoying this tutorial so far. I'm going to have on the description box below the list of supplies that you will need, and a link to JS Hobbies and Crafts as well. So on part 2, we are going to finish up with this first folio, and we are going to start on the second folio to finish our album. So I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.